What's up, guys? Johnny NoSurf here, lifeafterinternet.com. Today is Wednesday, July 27th, 2016, 4:45 p.m. Podcast number 7. Title is 4 Reasons I Manage My Internet Addiction. So, before I jump into this podcast, I just want to say happy birthday to lifeafterinternet.com. It's been registered for 1 year. Well, technically 13 months. It was a year in June, but I can't believe it's already been a year. I had the idea. I knew I had to give back to our NoSurf. I knew I had to give back to the community, and I knew that there were people like me who kept Googling internet addiction, looking for internet addiction help on the internet, because as an internet addict, that's the only place you go. That's the only place you go for information. I mean, I guess you could go to the public library. They wouldn't have anything. Or you could talk to your friends and say, hey, look, I spent too much time on the internet. And they're going to say, yeah, whatever, me too. Right? Like, they're not going to give you any actual help. I feel like this group on our NoSurf is like the real tip of the iceberg. And it's starting here on our NoSurf. But in the next 10 years, I mean, we're really around the corner. But over the next 10 years, it's going to become as big as our NoFap, and actually our NoFap is going to become even bigger. I think they're both really going to expand, because the internet and internet porn, those are problems, challenges that Canada deals with, America deals with, Norway deals with, Australia, New Zealand, right? China and Korea are crazy with internet addiction. Now theirs is primarily video game addiction, but I mean, internet addiction is a worldwide challenge, and it's a challenge that people are going to break free of and stomp all over, and they're going to have huge victories over it. And that is very exciting. 4 reasons I manage my internet addiction. Reason number 1, NoSurf equals guaranteed NoFap. Now, I know a majority of you guys and girls are from the NoFap community originally. And I'm very thankful to have you listening to this podcast. And on our NoSurf, we're all very thankful for you. You know that controlling your internet use makes NoFap 100 times easier. And that willpower is extremely overrated. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's 100% necessary. It's necessary. But relying on it 24/7, you can't rely on willpower 24/7, because sometimes you're going to be tired. Sometimes you're going to be angry. Sometimes you're going to be bored. Sometimes you're going to be drunk. Sometimes you're going to be high. You know, like sometimes you're going to be half asleep, whether it's in the morning or right before bed. Sometimes you're going to have blue balls, right? So relying willpower 24/7 is basically a guaranteed way to end up fapping, right? I think we can safely say that. So having internet filters, or restricting your access to internet from your home or from your bedroom, there are a lot of different strategies for that. I've gone through quite a few of them. My strategy is always evolving, because some of the things I use evolve. Like I used to use, I've talked about this before, Freedom, the Mac Freedom app, which was then released on Android, and that's when I got it. Hi, cell phone. That app worked phenomenally well, and they changed it. And now it was an online subscription service, just like Mobisip, just like Custodio. They got into that subscription game instead of the app game, and I thought, okay, you know what, this has been working extremely well. They've given me tremendous amounts of value. I'll buy the subscription service. Even though I can't afford it, I'll buy the subscription service. And it didn't really work. And I'm like, why isn't this not working? Like, I did all the settings, turned my phone on, completely unrestricted. Turn it off, reset it, give it a day, still wasn't doing anything. And then turns out they dropped support for Android. Well, thanks for letting me know, guys. Like, he said, you work for Android, but then you don't. Okay, whatever. So I'm not salty about it, but it just shows that a lot of these subscription services and apps and stuff. They just don't. That's why NoSurf is a thing, because this isn't an easily solved problem. If I was a programmer, maybe I could put my heart and soul into something and make something that actually worked. I don't know, maybe that can be a project down the road if I know someone who can do that. But as of right now, we're just working with what we got. But for right now, Custodio and Mobisip seem to be pretty good. They've responded to things in the past, and they seem to be on the up and up as far as new devices and stuff like that. So I hope that they stay good into the future. But I'm just taking this 1 year at a time. Okay, of the 4 reasons I manage my internet addiction, reason number 2, it gives me more hours in the day so I can always get to the gym and eat my meals. That's just me. Maybe you do boxing, maybe you do BJJ, maybe you're a bike rider. I don't know. But whatever you do, NoSurf gives you more time for that. This is salient for me because I don't have a TV. I haven't had a TV since I was 17. So, really, if I want to waste time staring at a glowing screen, which virtually everyone on the planet wants to do, pretty much every human on the planet wants to stare at a glowing screen. We like doing it. But I haven't had a TV since like grade 11. And now the only thing I can kill time with literally is my laptop or my phone. That's it. That's really either that or, I mean, if I'm playing with my dog, that's not really killing time. That's playing with my dog. That's it. Like, everything else I consider productive or relaxing. Like playing with my dog, yeah, that's relaxing. It's good for him. It's good for me. Reading a book. I know it's kind of funny. Marcus Aurelius, if you read his meditations, he shit on book reading. He said he was like addicted to reading books, which weren't even books back then. They were scrolls. And he said, why do I keep wasting time reading these scrolls when I should be working on other stuff? And he was like really beating himself up about wasting time reading these scrolls. So it just goes to show that, I mean, a little bit of the self-sabotage type stuff, a little bit of that fighting with yourself, work versus play, work-life balance. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Point is, NoSurf gives you more time in the day to do what you're passionate about. Okay, 4 reasons I manage my internet addiction. Reason number 3, NoSurf makes me bored, and boredom stimulates creativity. Now, that is obviously true that boredom stimulates creativity and NoSurf makes you bored. I think anyone would agree that NoSurf makes you bored. You have too much free time in the day. And the hardest part of NoSurf is what to do with all that free time. Now, how many 24-year-olds end up making their own podcast, right? How many 24-year-olds make their own website? I think that's a pretty good, decent proof that even though you're working or in school or whatever, when you do NoSurf, you have a lot of free time, and you're going to end up putting that towards some sort of creative effort if you just channel it a little bit. If you put some parameters on it and you pick a topic, you can channel it pretty well, and you stop being a mindless consumer of information and you start being a very mindful producer of content. You can definitely make that switch because NoSurf makes you bored and boredom stimulates creativity. Okay, so the 4th and final reason I manage my internet addiction is NoSurf makes me so bored I leave the house and do stuff. NoSurf makes me so bored I leave the house and do stuff. And that has been that's almost my mission statement of the past 4 or 5 years. Get so bored I leave the house and do stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot with that idea. That's kind of how I left university. That's how I went to college. That's how I started boxing and then kickboxing and then boxing again and now back to bodybuilding. But That's how I started this podcast. That's how I started stand-up comedy. That's how I started a night game and day game doing the whole PUA thing. It's how I ended up going to church. It's how basically the basis of the last 4 or 5 years is almost 100% founded on that statement. No surf makes me so bored to leave the house. It's also how I started volunteering, because when you have the sheer amount of hours of free time, it's like, well, all right, I'll give it away for free just to do something. That's definitely how I put in so many volunteer hours over the past few years too. So those are the 4 reasons I manage my internet addiction. 1, NoSurf equals guaranteed NoFap. 2, NoSurf gives me more hours in the day. 3, NoSurf makes me bored, and boredom stimulates creativity. And number 4, NoSurf makes me so bored I leave the house and do stuff. So once again, this is Johnny NoSurf from lifeafterinternet.com. Hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you have a great weekend. Oh, and real quick, Isha, volunteer, and I, we were talking on the phone, and we were talking about having some meetups for NoSurf. Now, we have about 3,700 people on the subreddit. That seems enormous to some. That seems small to others. But just have that idea in your head that, hey, maybe someday some of us will meet up and get coffee, get lunch, something like that. Just keep that idea tucked in your head for maybe 6 months down the road, a year down the road, when we end up doing something like that. All right? So have a great week. Have a great weekend. And have fun out there, no surfers.